Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve. I'm chair of the Niagara Peninsula branch, and we would like to welcome you to our online meeting, our January online meeting, and this is the first one that we've ever done. And we hope that you enjoy it, and we're just going to move along. And forgive us as we are, this is our first one, and we hope that we can this meeting is about an hour in length, we believe. But if it's a little shorter or a little longer, we're just working through the process. So thanks for joining us. We've got some speakers on queue. As you can see them down in the bottom right hand of your screen. I'd like to welcome Brian Amesbury, Barbara Haney, and Tyler Stevens. Tyler's from Niagara Falls, and Brian is from Mississauga, and Barbara is joining us from the North Pole, Alaska. So we just want to welcome them to the meeting. So again, let's get this meeting started. We have lots of information and lots of things to share at this meeting, and we're going to do that. So first thing up tonight, I wanted just to list, and I just wanted to look back at 2014 and looking towards 2015 in the genealogy world that we so much enjoy. A great website, you may want to take a look for it, is the top 100 genealogy websites for 2014. This particular website was done. It is done every year in January, so the website currently is for January 2014. It's a great list of genealogy sites that you can explore, and it gives a ranking of what's the number one, which you wouldn't be surprised if I said it was Ancestry. But then number two, they claim it's Find a Grave, and number three is Family Search. OGS is sitting at 95, and there's lots of great sites in between that. So check it out. The two major things that I've seen, or three major things that we've seen over 2014, was Ancestry, Find a Grave, Feedly, and Evernote. All suffered distributed denial of service attacks. And basically, in a nutshell, it's just a lot of data hitting a website at one time. And that actually took Ancestry and Find a Grave off 2-3 days. And Evernote was offline as well for at least 24 hours. One thing that I just wanted to share with people that you may want to remember when you're doing stuff like this on the internet, always try to find a program that will allow you to work online, but also keep a copy offline, so that if anything does happen, you're not down. Because we wouldn't want to go much more than 5-6 hours without doing our genealogy. We may have to do housework or something, strange or something like that. Heaven forbid that would happen. The biggest laugh we had in the later part of the year was LAC was backlogged in 98,000 boxes dating back to 1890. I heard lots of genealogists saying, give it to us. Give it to us. We'll help you. I guess a lot of it contains military records. So that was quite intriguing as well. So looking towards 2015, the Irish Catholic parish registers are coming online via the National Library of Ireland. That was big news. I remember seeing that all over Facebook. Everybody was excited about that. And there was a little bit of confusion with the OGS conference. This year it's in Barrie, but the dates have shifted. So we want to make sure that you are aware of those dates, and it is May 29th to the 31st, 2015. So lots of good stuff happening in genealogy, and just be be on the watch for it. There's all sorts of branches or OGS branches are coming up with all sorts of new things. OGS website, there's webinars, and we'll talk about that further on here. So moving on, you don't want to hear me talking all night. We have, right off the hop, we have Barbara Haney, who's going to share with us a little bit about her research and her connection to Niagara. So Barbara, are you there?
Yes, I am. Let me see if I can share this desktop.
All right.
And that way you guys can see. So I thought I'd start with a basic pedigree chart. When I first started this many years ago, all I had was the name of my grandfather and my great-grandfather. This is me down here. My father was born in Niagara Falls to George Allison Haney. He had been born in a place called Boyle. And I spent a lot of years of my life, in my early years of genealogy, looking at Canadian maps trying to find out where Boyle was. My dad said it was a white spot in the road. And I mean, I didn't even know it was in Ontario. So I'm looking all over. Finally, my dad, called me. He called me up. He goes, no, I know exactly where it is. He starts trying to explain to me on the map where it is. And I knew he knew his grandfather's name. And obviously he didn't. His name was Leonard Haney. Well, to try to find a Leonard Haney who was living in Boyle, Ontario, is a very daunting task. But I did eventually find him. And I spent a lot of years trying to figure out who his father is, not because it's such a difficult issue, but because at that time, the records were not online. You had to know what tape to order the reels from Salt Lake City. And when you live in Alaska, it takes about 2 months for those reels to get here. Then you got to look at the index, then you send it back, then because you look at the index to get the other reel, then you order that reel. It takes 2 weeks, and you hope it comes in the day that the library's open. Excuse me. So Leonard Jefferson Haney was my great-grandfather, and that is who lived in a place called Candaceville. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you. I've got a picture of him, and I've also got a picture of the house he grew up in. But now, anyway, if you take a look at the pedigree, you'll see that there's Nelson, then I have Leonard, and then there's Isaac Haney here. But I didn't know about those guys for a long time. Lincoln is a very difficult place to research. Ultimately, where I was able to start making gains was that we had a group of cousins finally got together and started coordinating our research over email at that time. And my cousin Doreen at that time lived not far from Salt Lake, so she was able to look up things without the long waits for the reels, for the microfilm. And my cousin Bill Haney, who's also a descendant from the Reverend Leonard, he lives in Kenmore, and so at that time he was still young enough that he would drive over occasionally. This is the house we finally figured out that Jefferson grew up in. Leonard Jefferson Haney grew up in, and it was the home of Nelson S. Haney, and it's at 4304 Canberra Road in Lot 24, Concession 1.
Excuse me, Barbara.
Yes.
Me. It's just Steve. Do you have a picture you're trying to get up? Because we've lost your image.
Oh no.
Yep. If you could just try to do the screen share again.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. I'm glad you told me. How silly. I'm sitting here babbling away about a house you guys can't see. Okay. So I hit the screen share. And
just do it again. You've turned it off.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Bring the picture back up. Okay, can you see it?
Nope, your screen share is still off.
Ah. How strange is that? Okay, let's try that. Sorry, loading. How's that?
There you go. We have your desktop now. Great.
All right, awesome. Okay, so this is the home. It's at 4304 Canberra Road. At least in 1997, it was still standing.
Open the
And
file. Open. You have to open the file. Sorry, we see your folder. We
oh,
don't see the file. Just click on the file to open it.
it is open. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I'll go like this. Nelson House. How's that? Can you see that?
No, still see the folder.
Okay.
Okay, just keep going. That's all right.
All right. Well, no, I mean that it was anyway. So I gave you the address. I guess you can kind of go see it if you know where Canberra Road is. Canberra Road is a very big spot in Lincoln, in that part of the world, I guess. Gainsborough. One of the hard times we had in researching this. Can you see this one?
No, all we see is your file folder.
Okay, my file folder. No kidding. Okay, do you see my mouse moving?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see if I go like this. See, do you see the family group sheet?
No.
Okay. Now why don't you see it once it's
If you just do the screen share and share your whole desktop, we'll probably see it.
Okay. I thought I did that.
That's all right.
All right. I see where that's delineated now. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm a very bad presenter. Okay.
There you go. Now we can see them.
Okay, so here's the house. All right. This is the house that we finally were able to identify after going through all the land records and census forms and all that good stuff. And it was very interesting because my father took a look at it after Doreen had taken some pictures, and he was living in St. Louis at that time, and he goes, I remember that place. He goes, it wasn't white, but I remember that place. So we knew we had the right house, I guess, at that point. But this is the one that the land records indicated on Lot 24, Concession 1. It's what they call a broken front. So the actual lot is at kind of an angle there. But this is where Nelson, that's where he lived. His wife's name was Marilda Cosby. Now, we don't know who her father is. Phyllis Cosby, who's a United Empire loyalist, lists Marilda as a daughter of Elliot Cosby, but we don't. Other than that, that's the only proof I have. I haven't been able to find any records of her birth or anything. And a lot of Cosby researchers do not list Marilda, but But Marilda Cosby is who was Jefferson Leonard's mother. So we have Marilda Cosby and we have Nelson. And for a lot of years, we couldn't figure out who the heck was Nelson's father. But I'll show you the family group. I don't know how well you can see. Can you see the family group sheet?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is Nelson and Marilda. And their oldest daughter was Elizabeth Jane. We don't know if the kids that she had were adopted or if they were from her husband's first marriage or if they were her kids. But she marries a gentleman named Pugh and then buys land not far from the boys. George William Haney grows up. He dies. He never marries. Farms his whole life. Marianne grows up. She takes care of Marilda after everybody else is gone. When she passes, we found her in the Lambert Hotel, and we don't know why she's living in the Lambert Hotel, because she inherited all the land. So that's one of the big mysteries that we still don't know, and she never married. Antoinette died at age 20 of tetanus. She never married, never had any kids. Leonard Jefferson Haney is my guy. I'll skip him for a moment and go to Robert. Robert Allison Haney is who my My grandfather, my father, and I we all have this Allison name, and we don't know, this is where it first appears with Robert Allison Haney. We don't know why we've got this name, but we do. Anyway, but he was born in 1863, died in 1931. He had one little boy, beautiful little boy. I have a very beautiful picture tucked away somewhere. And they named him Nelson T. Haney, and he died at the age of 6 months, and I guess they never had another child. So that means, I don't know if there's any children from Elizabeth, but that certainly meant that a lot of the ability, there's nobody left, you know? I mean, there was nobody, I guess, to go beyond Leonard. I had to start looking around at, Bill and I both had to start looking around at cousins. Bill and I are both from two different children from Leonard Jefferson Haney. So when we go to the census here, you can see, there they all are: Marilda, George, Mary, Antoinette, Leonard, Robert. Elizabeth at this point is already married and gone from the home. This is the 1871 census. The 1881 census is not readable for Gainsborough. Well, I don't think it's readable. Maybe somebody else thinks it's readable. I couldn't read it. But if that were readable, we would see Nelson and Marilda, and you would see Leonard and his wife Hannah Bush, who he married from Port Dover. They married in Jarvis. Let me get you to the land record, though. This was a lot of work to get, and I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger so that you can see it more clearly. One of the reasons we knew that Nelson and Jefferson were father and son is because if you notice here, he sells them 50 acres for $1. And there's comparable acreage sold later or earlier that's at a far greater amount of money. 50 acres here for $500 between Nelson Haney and Elizabeth Bauer. So you know that this has to be a pretty close relationship or some pretty awful land. And, you know, it turns out, obviously, they're father and son. And we have to be very careful because Nelson also has a brother who is named Leonard Johnson Samuel Haney. So when you look at the records, you have to take a look at, is it Leonard J.S. Haney or Leonard J. Haney, which makes it very confusing to research. But if you go to the very top of this, you will see that Nelson Haney got this for, I'm not sure what that symbol is, or if you, can you see it?
No, sorry.
Okay, let me see if I can make it bigger there. Can you see it now? This 5/.
Yep.
Okay, so that's where, same piece of land, Nelson Haney got it from who? Leonard Haney.
There we go.
Senior. And so after that, we started looking around at some of the other land records, and we found the quitclaim deed from when Leonard dies. I guess when he died, he was in the middle of selling the land. And in that quitclaim deed, Nelson Haney is the heir who signs off on the land. He and his brother George. Wow. So, yeah, so that's how we knew that he was connected to the. And then, of course, when you go to the cemetery, and this was a very good lesson for me on cemeteries, because when you go to the cemetery, many of you were there for the memorial. You'll see that Nelson's headstone is almost identical to Leonard Johnson Haney and to blah, 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 and to the Reverend Leonard Stone. They're all three in a row. They're all an obelisk, and they all have their people buried in a similar arrangement. The other interesting thing about the Reverend Leonard Haney is Nelson followed the same naming pattern with his children. So he has a son, George W. Haney, so does his father. He's got a daughter, Elizabeth, so does his father. Many of you who might remember Patricia Balasuk from the memorial, she's from the Reverend Leonard Haney, who also has a daughter, Elizabeth, and that's her line.
Okay.
So that is where we're kind of at. We know a little bit about Leonard, but we're hoping, we're pretty sure a lot of people have inferred that Leonard's father is Isaac, but that's one of those things we're hoping to prove.
Well, if I can just interject for just a moment here, thank you very much for sharing that. But as I was listening to you, you may see on your screen now that we do have the 1881 Gainesboro Census as a publication here at the branch, and you can see Haney, Nelson, and Leonard Haney, but there is siblings and a mother. So after this, we can talk about them. We can talk about the census and how you can get access to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing with us, and we're just gonna move right along.
Thank you.
So you're very welcome, and thanks for joining us. So what we want to do now is we just want to kind of explain a little bit what's new or ongoing for 2015 here in Niagara. We've always got lots to do, and we're always looking for volunteers. One of the things we have a wonderful program coordinator, Brian. He does all that from his home in Mississauga. But he is currently still working on speakers and contracts, but we definitely know that we have something for February for the Black History Month, and we want to promote that, as that research and their heritage is very much ingrained in the Niagara region, and we want to support them, encourage them, and to learn more about their heritage and where they came from. We want to currently on our list, or my list of things to take care of, is the Niagara e-store, where we're going to have our own publications that you can acquire electronically to download. Research, you can order your any needs for research and stuff, and other research resources such as our War of 1812, More Than a Mere Matter of Marching book, and we have indexes and stuff like that you can download. You can search for free and then email in to get the information. We're also planning for a spring and fall single-day conference, if you would say. We're still working on the details. I know we were talking about it yesterday, and that's something that we want to promote. If we're going to stream in some great speakers or bring them in-house, that is one thing that we want to do. The Canadian Headstone Project is something that it's an ongoing project. Barbara is familiar with it because where her Haneys were and where that memorial was in Ridgeway, not Ridgeway, Ridgeville in Pelham. We have a volunteer there that has uncovered almost 300 headstones that has sunk into the ground, and this volunteer has unearthed them, and we want to look towards I know she's got them on the Canadian Headstones website. You should check that out. Niagara is well involved in Canadian Headstones, and we're starting to get lots of cemeteries online there, and that's a great resource, a free resource that you can use. Finally, the Welland Canal Fallen Workers Memorial. There's a little story behind this, and you can find out more information on the St. Catharines website, where there's a lot more detail. But they're erecting a memorial to the workers who died building the Fourth Canal. And this is during the period of World War I, and there stands at this point 132, but I could be plus or minus a few, either way. But what the goal is to identify these workers, find out where they came from, obtain their death certificates, find out where they're buried, pick photos of their headstones, and then ultimately connect with possibly living relatives, family who still may be here. One person We have about 3 people that we're unable to obtain death certificates for. There's very little information. As you can see on the bottom is a John A. Patterson. We've done some extensive search. I got some serious slews on the trail of this gentleman. John A. Patterson was an American, came to Canada to try to work on the Welland Canal, didn't have the proper paperwork, but still managed to make his way to the Welland Canal. He then was killed by a train. He didn't hear the train coming, and word was sent home back to the U.S. His brother was supposed to have come to Canada to claim the body, but at that we have a Canadian death certificate. I'm sorry, we do have a Canadian death certificate. The problem is we cannot confirm where he's buried. We don't know if he's buried Canada side. We don't know if he's buried the U.S. side. There's no paperwork of that I've been able to find, or we've been able to find, of his brother coming over or the body going back over. There's other work that needs to be done on this project. This is not the only person. If you're interested in this great project, we are looking for genealogists that can help and gather as much information, because these guys were what they call, what an MP of the time called, peacetime heroes. And without these people, we Niagara, we have the canal, and that's where these guys lived, breathed, and ultimately paid the ultimate sacrifice in their lives. So we want to remember them, because that's what this is all about. So next thing, we just very quickly we want to make sure that people are aware of. On Saturday, March 14th, 2015, the Niagara Peninsula branch. This is the spring seminar I was telling you about. We're going to have our annual general meeting, and we're going to have a seminar day. Details will be available on our website or Facebook group or in our monthly emails. More information will follow. If you want to email us or have an idea, please send us an email. That would be, we're always open to what the members want, or to different ideas. So we invite you to that. The AGM is important. It allows you to connect to the business side of the branch. There is a business side. It's not all about hunting for dead people. I wish it was, but it's not. There is some business that we need to deal with, and then we'll have a great seminar day, and even some food. There's no way we can hold a seminar day without some food. So we want to do that. So now I'm going to cut to another person, Brian Amesbury. He's our membership coordinator for Niagara. And Brian, are you there?
I sure am, Steve. I'm going to try to share my desktop, and I've got some stuff on paper that I'd like to put up and share with the folks.
Okay.
So now I've done share it. I'll go full screen, start screen share, and I want to go down here. Now, do you have a piece of paper visible, yes, Steve?
Yes, we do.
I want to talk about just a couple of things, and I'll make it short and sweet. I have a lot of ancestors in Great Britain, and I just wanted to mention, and this is a well-known organization, Lost Cousins. I don't particularly use the features of the website, but I certainly do find that it's one of the best newsletters for that area of the world that I've come across, and I'm constantly looking forward. I think he does maybe 2 a month, and I'm constantly looking forward to finding those newsletters. You can go on. You can actually, what I've got here is a link to the last newsletter. You can have a look at it, and if you really like it, you think that some of the stuff might be helpful to you, certainly go on to his website and subscribe to the newsletter. But that URL there that you see will give you the latest newsletter, and should whet your appetite to have a look at more, particularly if you have ancestors in Great Britain. Now, as I say ancestors in Great Britain, I will tell you that Peter Calver, when we were having the issues about what was going to happen with the latest census, how was it going to appear, was, the Canadian census, that is, what was going to happen, and everyone was very down and dour that there wasn't going to be much that we could do. It was maybe going to be privatized or something like that. Peter Calver actually said that he believed that the census would be released free and it would be released on time, and that was about in the midst of the constant concern about what was going to happen. So Peter's information is not just great for Great Britain. He does realize he's got Canadian cousins, and he shares his information with them, and does pay attention to the colonies, so to speak. He does deal with Australia and New Zealand, etc. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to become a little more local, and I want to talk to you about the Niagara Historical Society Museum. Being from Mississauga, I had spent, in my early days, I had spent some time in the Niagara-on-the-Lake area, and it sort of started a love affair that I have with the Niagara Peninsula. But only recently have I really discovered the Niagara Historical Society Museum. Being genealogists, as Steve says, we're usually looking for dead paper and documentation, but there's always history that has, should be included with our research. And I find that particularly for the Niagara area, and if you live in the Niagara area, a lot of people probably know about this organization. But if you come to visit in the Niagara area, it's got to be one of the places you visit. It's really quite a little treasure. And so I thought I'd share with you tonight. First of all, the website, if you're not familiar with it, it's a very classy War of 1812 type building in Niagara-on-the-Lake. It's a beautiful building. It's well cared for, and the displays are excellent. The staff are amazing. Now, what I would tell you is that they have a lot of people in the area that loan the museum items. They have great displays, and we have what I have is a listing of the continuing exhibitions. There's one running until March 31st, 2015. Enjoy your stay. And it talks about, it deals with a lot of the lovely hotels and inns in the area. And if you've been through the town, you know that some of these are beautiful buildings, and they are very historical. There's a new one coming up, new exhibition coming up on April 15th, and it's Life Under Canvas, and it relates to the common or the military training grounds known as Camp Niagara during the First World War. And I have a bit of a link to that. I was a soldier in the Canadian Army and was posted to Port Credit and did service the militia camp during the summer for my 3 years in the Army. It was quite a good gig. I spent 4 months in Niagara for 3 years in a row, and I was thrilled about that. I loved the area, learned about it, and I still love the area. And that was back in the 60s. My other link to that is that I had a grandfather who trained there, or started training there, to go to France in World War I. So I've got a couple of links to the military camp at Niagara-on-the-Lake. The other interesting thing, one of the good things about the Niagara Historical Museum is that they have some great series. I've been to 2 or 3 of the ones for 2014, and I'm looking forward to 2015. From March to December, the third Thursday of each month at 7:30, they have a presentation, a speaker, and for the last part of 2014, and it looks like for all of 2015, the series will be Great War lectures. I found them really interesting. Local speakers. They draw a crowd that I would say that the events I went to had at least 100 guests, and I'll be looking forward to what's happening in that lecture series for 2015. There are a couple of days, May 18th, June 4th, free admission in the museum. I think the admission is only $5 to begin with. And then they have a couple of highlight things that they do, seem to be done every year. There's a historical walking tours, June to September. There's some items for kids if you have grandkids or whatever, and you want to, if you're in the area and you want to get them involved in that, I think. They have a past as present, a heritage festival. They have theatrical cemetery tours, and I haven't taken one, but I will take one this year. This is a, as it says there, tickets must be purchased in advance. They do this just about every year and have for quite some time, and it sells out, I guess is the point I'm trying to make to you. They are going to have a Remembrance Day performance to commemorate the First and Second World War. I'm not quite sure what all the details are on that. And then there's a Phoenix dinner, which is essentially a group that raises funds or provides funding for the museum, and I guess the attempt is to get more funds, as just what any organization would want to do.
Okay, that's all you wanted to share there, Brian, or?
That was it, Steve.
Okay, great.
I would say one other thing about that. The single membership for the museum is $30, and a lot of the events are $10. So if you thought you might take in more than 2 or 3 events, it might be a good idea to just join the museum and become a member. And I'll leave it at that. Perfect.
Well, thank you very much. Every genealogist I know, including myself, are always looking for a good deal. What we want to do, and part of this process of doing these Hangouts, Brian, if you can shut your screen share off, because I'm seeing myself. There we go. Perfect, thanks. What we want to do is we want to promote other heritage organizations within Niagara. We want to work together with them and develop partnerships, because ultimately we're here to serve the genealogical community and our members. So thank you very much, Brian, for doing that. We appreciate it. So we're just going to move on here, and I just wanted to share, because we tend to be a technical branch. And first of all, I wanted to thank Cindy, who just posted on our Facebook page. We appreciate your comments. Yeah, we haven't had any technical problems. We're moving along fine, and I'm very excited about this. So please do leave comments. Let us know what you thought, because we'll need to evaluate this like any other thing that we do. I just very briefly want to share a little bit of technology people may not be aware of. We are operating on what's called Google Hangout, or Google Hangout on Air. This is the broadcast version of Google Hangout. Google Hangout is just for everyday kind of use. Google Hangout on Air is meant for broadcasting like we're doing at this time. But what a lot of people don't realize is that with Google Hangout, not only can you go to this web address and you can type in people's email addresses right here, as you can see on the screen, and you can add people into it. Down here below, you can add a telephone number. Okay, so what that means is that you can, we've had a branch finance meeting, and a few of us, the Google Hangout has worked, and for another reason, somebody couldn't get online or was having trouble with their computer, we just added their telephone number to it. And what that has, whoop, we've gone too far here. The telephone number then comes up and you type it in. This will work for Canada and US. I'm sorry, the screen seems a little blurry. It might be on my end, but you will find the information. If you can't see it, you will find it in Google+. You can type in the telephone number and hit call, and then that person's telephone, cell phone, home phone, whatever it shall be, will be brought into the conference call at the same time. So it's a great little tool if you're doing family research, or you're using it for branch executive purposes, or reaching out to members for research, anything. So it's a great way of getting rid of the whole long distance thing. So moving along as well, I just we want to again promote our YouTube channel and the OGS webinars. A lot of people are still not aware of these webinars that are available free to members, and we want to make sure they're promoted. Our YouTube channel is, you will find on it, all our branch meetings are streamed to that. Like this meeting is streamed right to the YouTube channel, so it will be recorded and viewable at a later date. You'll find we've worked on adding all the different genealogy shows to our YouTube channel. So Finding Your Roots, CNN Roots, Who Do You Think You Are, UK, USA, and even doing our Niagara Cemetery tours. We've added that, and a good friend of ours, Donald Coombe from St. Mark's Cemetery, has also done his own tours. So we've added these in for your viewing pleasure. If you'd like to make your own cemetery tour and it's in concern to a cemetery here in Niagara, or you have something you would like to share with us and want us to post onto our YouTube page, just send us an email and we can do that. We can only do it if you own copyright to it. We don't want to get into any sort of trouble, but if it is on YouTube, we can link to it. So we just want to make sure that we're behaving ourselves. So again, the last part was the OGS webinars. If you go to the OGS calendar, you will see when the webinars are. And right now it has a 100-seat limit, so you need to make sure you register. But if you go into the members only, which I need to let you see, there we go, the members only, you go into the members only, you'll find the OGS recorded webinars, and you will see all the different webinars that are recorded and are stored on the website. I do believe that the contract agreement with the speakers is for a year. So these ones from, well, the January one and will start to disappear. So if you want to watch them, it's a great time to jump on them. So do please enjoy them. Okay, so what do we got? What's going on here? Ah, perfect. It's a great opportunity. Our membership coordinator, man of many hats, Tyler Stevens, is going to share with some membership news and other things that he's cooking up. And Tyler, are you there?
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Just want to tell you a little bit about what's coming up in 2015. First of all, we have a slide, Steve, if you can put that up, of the 2015 meeting dates. And just wanted to remind everybody that all of our meetings are held on the second Thursday of each month, except for July and August. All of our meetings are always free to attend, whether online or in person. We meet at the First Corinthian United Church at 415 Lynn, Welland, St. Catharines. And if you're unable to make it due to weather, or if you're unable to make it out to a meeting, you can watch it live, or you can watch it later as it's on our website as it's saved. So you'll see listed there all of the meeting dates that we have throughout the year. And we go on to the next one. This is something that I'm particularly proud of. In 2014, we launched a new pilot project to take what we're calling our tent and table out to some of the region's single and multi-day historical and cultural festivals. And anywhere from 2 to 6 branch members have come out to give us a hand to help us bring more awareness to the Ontario Genealogical Society and the Niagara branch in particular. This outreach has we've been able to get 3 new members so far, and we've recognized many faces at our in-person meetings from attending these events, and most importantly, we've been able to answer a lot of questions to the public. And talking to people and sharing histories has been extremely fun. In 2015, we're hoping to go beyond what we did last year and do even more festivals and fairs, and some bigger areas as well. On our Facebook group and website and in our newsletter, so you'll be able to see where we're going and when we'll be there. And we encourage everyone to come out and just come out and say hi and stop by the table. And if you're interested in helping us, that's something else that's also important. If you're interested in helping us, my email is there, tylerogsnb@gmail.com. You're welcome to send me off an email, and I can keep you updated as to where and when we'll be, and if you're available to come out, even for an hour, just to maybe give somebody else a respite that's been there all day. That would be greatly appreciated. So now we're going to move on to something else that I was really happy about in 2014. On Saturday, November 8th, we did a exclusive branch-only trip to the Archives of Ontario. 23 branch members came, and as I wrote there, they gleefully experienced a fun day of research, brick wall smashing, and information overload. Many of the people there, it was their first time, and the smiles on their faces was absolutely incredible to see. To those of us who had been there before, we were able to get more questions answered. On these field trips, they allow us to have one-on-one sessions, so you can apply for the one-on-ones. They are limited in space, though, and you're able to sit down with an archivist and have your questions answered personally and a little more in depth. We haven't decided yet if we're going to do another one in 2015. We're going to gauge some interest here. So if you would like to attend an AO trip in 2015, again, send me off an email, and I will put your name on a list to be notified when we have made a decision about that. Now, also in the same vein, shortly after our trip to the AO, about half a dozen of our members brought up the idea of a field trip to the Library and Archives Canada. Now, well, this one is going to be a little more involved, and we're still in the exploratory thinking, planning stages of this, but we would like to know how many members are interested in doing that. It would be around the middle of June. The target date is Monday, June 15th, and we understand, kids are still in school at that time, some of them, and people obviously have to work. But if you're able to book a day off work and come up to Ottawa with us, that would be great. Now, there is a maximum of 20 people that's allowed in this. They want to keep the group nice and small so everybody can get the full experience, and they will tour around and show you the facility and show you how the research is done and show you how to be able to do your own research as well. Now, as we are in the exploratory stages of this, we don't know exactly what options we're going to go for. We're going to see about transportation and accommodation. If need be, if the price is right, we can look into maybe renting a bus or getting a group reservation at one of the local hotels in the area. Otherwise, if we can't do that, then it would just be like the AO trip. The cost would be on the member itself, on the members to take care of. But once again, my email there, tylerogsnb@gmail.com. If you're interested in this, please let me know as soon as possible. I've been told by the staff at the LAC that we need to have a decision made, or I have to have a decision to them by February 28th if we're going to take advantage of this. I think it is a wonderful opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to going, and I'm hoping that we'll have at least 19 other people other than myself that would love to go to this. And finally, that's just my email again, so if you want to email me about the trips, please do. And that's about it for me, Steve.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Tyler. I appreciate the time. I know you're not overly camera crazy. We do spend a lot of time on electronic conversations, so we just, this is fine. We're doing good. But yeah, if you're interested, Tyler's doing a lot of amazing work for Niagara. He's trying to reach out to the members. I know, spent 6 hours last week typing up all the membership information and for our branch so that the executive have that information, as well as he sends out welcome letters to every new member. And we really appreciate all the hard work that he does and all of our executive do, because without him we wouldn't have a branch. So I just want to touch base again with this, and as you are aware, this is the Lincoln and Welland County Families Hangout. Well, this is the Lincoln and Welland County's Family Jedcom Database, and I'm not sure if everybody's been aware of it, but this is we've had a lot of interest in the past of people wanting to donate Jedcoms, and what are they going to do with it? They don't want to produce documents. They want to upload it and make it available. So what we've done is we've launched this program, the Lincoln Welland County's Family, and we've allowed people to upload their Jedcoms freely. They still have administrative control of their Jedcoms, and no living people are identified. We've made sure that security is sound, and we have people registered to it. It is free access, but we want people registered to the site just for security reasons, and it's an easy process. Sometimes it might take a little bit before I or someone else comes home from work to approve your registration. So I just wanted to give some statistics. Currently, what's on the Lincoln Welland County Families Jedcom, there's currently, as you can see probably on your screen, 109,528 total individuals. There's approximately 56,000 males and 52,000 females. We have 498 of the unknown gender, and it does show that we have 23,000 living, but again, you can't see them. We've protected the living, and total families of just over 38,000, and total unique surnames is 12,186. So there's lots of resources there. Again, it's free to join, and you are more than welcome to join it. Send in you can find it at the Niagara branch website, and you go under resources and you will see it there. It'll give you an opportunity if you want to upload your Jedcom. We just ask that if you do want to upload your Jedcom, there has to be a Niagara connection. But if there's one person that's connected to Niagara, send it on through. We'll upload it, and we'll share it, because that's what genealogy is about sharing information. Yeah, so just send in your registration. You'll find it there, and you're more than free to join and check it out. So we're just getting on about 6 minutes to 8. We're right about on cue. So I just want to thank, on behalf of the branch, thank you for joining us. Again, as Tyler said, join us for our February 12th meeting. Starts at 7 o'clock. You'll find us online. You will find the URL on our website. You'll find this meeting saved on YouTube for later viewing, or to share it. This is free. We wanna share it. We wanna promote Niagara branch, and there's no issue to that. Again, please share your comments and suggestions, as this is our first one, and I do know that we have a January executive meeting that's coming up, and we're going to want to bring this to the table for discussion and think and find out if this was a success. And if it is, then this is an opportunity that we can reach out and promote Niagara and assist our researchers. And if we do, again, do this, we're looking for people like you. to be who Barbara was tonight, or Brian or Tyler, and share about your research, or maybe share about your brick wall, your success. So again, thank you again for joining us, and have a good night, folks, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye from Niagara.